welcome to Talking Beer. I'm Ryan.
I'm Brett.
He's fascinated with technology.
Yes, stuff that I don't do.
Overhead shots, forward shots, lots of Brett shots.
That's a good one.
We're going to quickly talk about the three-tier system, what that means, and Brett, maybe you could tell me what that means to small breweries that are maybe trying to get into a distribution and into package stores and into liquor stores.
It's a hell of a lot different than it was when I started in the business, for sure. When I started, there was Long Trail and Red Hook, and that's about it.
So, real quick, what is
the
three-tier system? What is the three-tier system?
Three-tier system is the way the government made laws back in after Prohibition, when Al Capone was beating the government on taxes and sales and everything. So they put in a three-tier system, which basically means it comes from the manufacturer, which is the brewery, goes to the wholesaler, and then goes to a retail shop like a package store or grocery store or a bar or restaurant, and then the end user buys and consumes.
If I'm a brewery, how do I find someone to distribute my?
Well, I mean, there's different distributors out there.
My beer.
People have called us before, or we go out and research them. One of my things that I do as the craft beer manager at Hartford Distributors is go out and find new breweries that we can bring to the folks of Connecticut, whether the beer was from Connecticut or not. Just a way to get it from the brewery out to many channels at once, which is very hard for a brewery to do without a distributor. It can be done. Yeah. I'm sure there's some right now in Connecticut that are doing it and doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, some people have mentioned that to me because small breweries trying to get out in as many places as possible, they kind of get swamped with the idea of like they're running a brewery, they're making the beer, they're marketing themselves. The distribution kind of takes a lot of that stuff on, right? Or will you find places that fit for their brand, correct?
Yep. For the most part. I mean, for these new phased IPAs, we just have to rotate them and keep them in stock as much as we can because people just want them. And Connecticut is different than other states, where we are a very hop-forward area, and some of the beers that some of the breweries from out of the state make don't really work here. And I've experienced that. Golden Ale is not something that people are overly concerned about here. We want hoppy beer, I mean, these are all hoppy. I'm looking at it right now, again, except for the sours that I brought, which I know we were originally going to do this yesterday. I was going to talk about Valentine's Day and what you could bring and drink for Valentine's Day, which is why I brought this kind of style of a beer. This is a chocolate milk stout.
I feel like there's a color theme going on here, a little pink and purples. All right, so what do we got?
So right now we're drinking a new beer from Black Hog, and this is their Hop Collective THC, and it is batch number 2, and this is the Melba and Equinox hops. So basically they're doing a blend of different hops in each one. So this is a kind of a New England style IPA, a little hazy.
I like it.
Fresh hops.
It tastes fresh, like fresh hops.
Yeah. These hops have a certain spice to it.
They do.
It's not like Mosaic and Citra that give you grapefruit and melon. This one gives you a little bit of flowery on the nose, but then kind of has a little spice to it, which is nice.
If a brewery is looking for a distributor, what would they do? I mean, like how would they? I mean, I know you probably go out and find a lot of places, but things like new beers and why don't I see all this stuff in the package store? Well,
I mean, truthfully, there's different sizes of wholesalers. We're kind of a big wholesaler, and it's we have a big portfolio, so you really can't take everything that knocks on your door as a business.
Sure.
Because it's not, you can't do everything well all the time. You have to kind of focus on certain things, and that you can, because if you focus on too much, nothing gets focused on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So nowadays we are, I mean, back in the day, like I said, when we only had Long Trail and Red Hook, we were actively looking. People call us up, we'd try their beer. The most important part for me isn't really the branding, it's the taste of the product, ultimately.
Yeah.
Quality, as far as I'm concerned, is going to win. And in the end, I want to make sure that I'm offering good quality beers in my portfolio.
Yeah.
And I'm sure any other wholesaler would want that, or any brewery is going to want to make the best possible quality stuff that they can make. And that is a place where you can try a whole bunch of them at the same time.
One of the reasons I was bringing that up. So why don't you just go down the line here and just tell us what we're looking at?
This is going to be one of your favorites like you've never had before. This
excited.
This could be a nice Valentine's Day beer. This is a Cool Ship Red. I believe this is made with cherries. Some of these are available in Connecticut, some of them are not. We're going to try to focus on stuff that we can get here.
Yeah.
For the most part in these Talking.beers, but every once in a while I'll bring stuff out because this is a real sour beer. This is a true sour beer. The unfortunate part is you have to be at the brewery in Maine to get it the day it comes out, or you're not getting it.
So I brought 2 beers too because we talked about last time sharing is caring. So I brought 2. One of them being Wormtown Be Hoppy, the India Pale Ale. My friend comes to our Super Bowl party, and he works at the brewery, and he said, hey, I brought you some beer. Not knowing that we're doing this, but I figured I'd bring it. The other thing I brought you was Circa, which I went there down in New York, down in Brooklyn last weekend, and that is, I was super impressed with the brewery to begin with. So they're a beautiful brewery. I have some video that's going to be playing. Really quite large, and they made awesome food. They had pizza that was awesome.
Good.
Awesome. So it was a really cool place, a lot of fun.
And that's the new style way to sell beer.
Yeah.
Is skipping the whole 3-tier system and brewing beer and getting a permit to be able to sell it directly to consumer there, drink on site, and buy take-home beer, which is definitely changing the makeup of the industry big time.
Yeah.
Right now, big time.
And this, by the way, it is awesome. I like it.
Yeah. This is a real sour beer where they've actually put it in wood. There's different kinds of sour beers that are out in the marketplace. There's kettle sours, there's Broner Weisses, there's Gozes.
Mm-hmm.
Those are a different type of sour. Those take a lot less time to make. This takes months and months and months to make because you make the liquid and then you just sit it in wooden old wine barrels and just let it sit. And then the brewmaster will come and pull a nail. It's called pulling nails, where there's a galvanized nail in the side of the thing, and he pulls it out, puts a cup underneath it, spritzes it with some sanitizer, then puts it right back in the hole, and then tries it and says, "Oh, you know what? This isn't ready yet. I'm going to keep it letting it age."
So if it's too good, he just keeps trying it, and then it's ready.
Well, he knows he knows it's ready when it's ready, and that's the only when it was released. So while you can age this, and I did buy this last year. You can age these in the basement, and I was able to get a case of it, which was nice.
This is Allagash Brewing Company. You've been here, I take it.
I have.
So I have canoed down up the Allagash River multiple times. In fact, one time I fell off a bridge and nearly broke all my ribs. Everything was a nightmare. I was in the Boy Scouts, and we were like,
wow.
We stopped, and I fell, came down, and I crushed my ribs on a canoe. And just basically woke up 3 days later in a canoe, and they were like, "Hey, you're alive!" I was like, "Yeah, look at the deer, great."
Wow.
Passed out. A 10-day trip. But the interesting part about Allagash is the river actually flows north.
For this kind of beer, it's nice to build a brewery near a river because you get those type of airborne bugs.
Yeah.
That end up inoculating the beer and making it taste better, because this is spontaneous fermentation. Spontaneous fermentation means they brew it in these open, giant cool ships, steel vats, giant, sometimes like half the size of a swimming pool.
Wow.
And the beer just sits there, and then they turn the fans on backwards and blow the air out from outside in. At least it's the way they do it in Belgium.
Sure.
And it brings the bugs from the air, the bacteria, and then it inoculates the beer, and it makes it taste the way we're tasting it. That's spontaneous fermentation.
This is really good.
In fact, they don't really clean. I went to Bone in Belgium, and there's spider webs, and I could see the spider web going. And the guy's like, no, leave it. That's Franck. He's part of the. He's what makes the beer great. Don't mess with him.
I went down to Circa this weekend. Had a
Shocked, actually.
couple of beers down there, but what
He left with a cellophane wrapper on top.
Yeah, they ran out of caps. They weren't really thrilled with it, but they were like, you can leave if you want with it, with a rubber band. And this is their
Nice.
Rotator IPA. It's pretty good. I thought it was pretty awesome. It was got a little cloud. Like I said, the brewery is a fun place to go. It's a family environment, so there's lots of food, great pizza, and like everything kind of going on in Brooklyn hipstery.
Yes, yeah, very much so. It's cool though. It's a cool spot. I like going to Brooklyn Bowl.
Yeah,
This is good. Nice
Yeah.
hop. But I wanted to talk about these two while we're here. 'Cause
okay.
These are
Yeah, what do you got?
way, way, way different. This is a beer by Carton. Regular coffee, Imperial Cream Ale. So it's a 12% coffee ale that tastes amazing, and then they do different things to it. Where they've made this St. Kitts coffee. So this is the base beer, and then they take that beer and they add coconut and age it in rum barrels for this one. I'll leave you with the coffee one, but we should try this one, which I have not tried. Great people down there in
So I'm gonna have
New
you
Jersey.
pour that right over here.
Brewmaster Jeremy and of course Augie Carton making some interestingly awesome beers down there.
Nice.
So again, it's going to have a mouthfeel that's going to be like a stout almost.
Well, this is a 12% alcohol too, so this is not a quick drink.
Coconut, rum. Jeez, that's bursting with that kind of flavors.
It's pretty cloudy, but it's not like, I wouldn't say it's anything worse than, I don't know what else I would compare it to, but.
Well, it looks like kind of like a New England style IPA, but it's nothing of the sort. Anyway, it's not hoppy at all.
No, it's like coffee. I mean, it's like,
Bold.
yeah, it's like a coffee stout. I mean, it's like not stout, but
But it has a
sort of
mouthfeel.
stout.
It has a
it's got
mouthfeel
like
of a
that-
stout.
like a foam, like the cappuccino foam, almost.
That's really interesting.
You could drink that to work.
Yeah, you wouldn't get any. The fact that it's 12% though makes you not want to work probably.
Yeah, you're not gonna get much done, but you could drink that at work. I'm saying.
Yeah, and then just so we can actually talk about the beers that we have in front of us.
Yeah.
This is the new one from Alex over at New Park. I'm a huge fan of. This is the Hoppy-Airy.
I really like that logo. That's really cool.
There's a little bit of honey in it,
I was gonna guess that.
but it's an IPA, and
Once I get my
and
beans
each
up,
time I talk to Alex, he says, "Oh yeah." Oh, he'd buy some of your honey once it's done.
Yeah.
This is the best beer he's ever made. Which the beer before this that he made was the best beer he ever made. So I'm sure the beer he's making today is the best beer he's ever made, because every time I talk to him, it's the best beer he's ever made, which is very comical. And just it's a great pattern, because I walk into New Park and he's like, "Hey, I've just made the best batch of this I've ever made before," and it's like, wow, this is really awesome. But he's doing some good stuff over there, and using some local Connecticut sourced ingredients as well in his beers. I'm sure the honey is local. They did a stout with J. Renee Coffee, West Hartford, making some really interesting beers. And like I said, this one's from Richmond, Virginia. This was traded for. And it's a big chocolate milk stout, Hornswoggle. I had it a while ago. We can drink this after we're done.
That's very.
It's an interesting beer.
It's a cool logo. It looks like. What the heck was that movie with the golden ticket?
Oh, Willy Wonka's.
Yeah, it's very Willy Wonka. I mean, with the hat, or Alice in Wonderland. Really, with the hat.
It's good beer. Vale's
Like
making
the
some really
cat.
good beers. the brewmaster is going to be coming out with some incredibly awesome sours
Nice.
very soon. This is we drank. This is Black Hog Hogwire, which is our New England style IPA. This is a beautiful New England style IPA. Actually, technically, this is probably my favorite beer in the world right here. Treehouse Green. Just like my favorite stuff.
I gotta be honest with you, this was pretty awesome.
That was pretty awesome.
For me,
for
I
sure.
like,
And this is another beer you can drink. It's a nice Valentine's Day style beer.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
You can have it.
Just a reminder, Rising Pint is coming up May 12th. Make sure you prep your calendar. Tickets aren't on sale yet, but they will be soon. Probably in the next
Couple weeks for sure.
We're getting all the breweries situated, so right now that is just what's happening. We'll let you
I
know.
booked the first band is Rift.
Rift? All right.
They
Cool.
are a fish cover band.
All right.
You know, I can't get by without some fish. And then the other band could possibly be booked today or by Monday for sure. I don't want to
Spice
say
Girls.
what it is. Yeah, right. No, it's the Backstreet Boys. I'm sorry.
All right.
I didn't want to let it out.
Cheers. Till next time.